Guess who's back
again.
Garage Couples.
Copyright infringement.
Nate.
What is going, guys? What is going?
What is going, guys?
What is going on, guys? My name is Greg, and this is Aline, and we are the Garage Couple. On today's episode, we are going to test the most affordable heavy-duty tire pump that is available right now. There's a lot of options when it comes to tire pumps, and most of them are extremely expensive, especially when you have a 37 or a 38-inch tire. So we're going to test the most affordable one with the link in the description, whether it does well or not. Now, if you haven't seen our previous video, we tested a bunch of different tire compressors, and we came out with one of our best, which is our old heavy-duty pump, which we'll also show you in this video. But on this week's video, we are going to time how long it takes to go from 10 to 30 psi on a 37 and a 38-inch tire.
Quite the task.
So why don't we get started without any further information or discrepancies.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Garage Couple, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the good content. Let's unbox. And for those of you that don't know, we have a little family over here.
Ruby, Toby.
Rubes, Toby, hi! I guess he came to mom, huh? This is the Go Beige Heavy Duty Air Compressor. Let's go over a couple of the specs that are going to be important when considering this product. The first we're looking at is the voltage. It is 12 volts. Its output volume is 160 liters per minute. And last but not least, the air hose length is 26 feet.
That's actually quite a bit.
That is quite a bit.
Look at these guys over here.
Dobby, Ruby, what's going on? Hi, okay.
Guys, want to help us with the air compressor?
Compress them up a bit.
Go ahead and unbox it.
These are always really fun. Do it.
One of Aline's favorite things to do in the world, true fact here, is to unbox products, especially nifty products that make our lives easier.
I'm all about the gadgets, huh?
We are all about the gadgets here. Nice little carrying case. Nicely packaged.
That it is. It's upside down. Yep.
Wow, that looks really heavy duty.
And it's red to match the Jeep.
Is it?
Coincidence?
Oh wow, cool. I wonder if we could hook this thing up to some air tools, see if it'll handle it. What do you think?
That looks absolutely insane, you guys. It's pretty compact in its design, but it has some weight to it, which means it's gonna give us some good power, good air, good all.
No one really cares how it looks. It's all about how it performs. Why don't we go ahead and take a closer look? Now, I just want to review some of the cooler features about this air pump, as long as Dobby and Ruby would let me do so. So first and foremost, this thing is all metal construction. It is not composite, it's not plastic, it is the real deal. The handle here has these perforations, and it looks like the air actually has an air fitting on the end, which is really nice because you totally could convert this to allow air tools to be used. Now, what I would personally do is connect this to an air tank and then fill up the air tank and then use that air tank to actually use your tools like your impact gun or any other wrenches or any other devices that you might have. Now, the nice thing about this 12 volt air pump is that it connects directly to the battery. So it doesn't actually use the cigarette lighter, it plugs in directly to the battery. The advantage of doing so is tremendous because it bypasses the car's electrical system and just uses the battery direct, utilizing an internal fuse in case anything gets shorted. Now, a couple other things to mention. The hose itself is actually a pretty decently thick diameter, which, as you know, decreases the resistance and allows more airflow. Now, it has that nice rubberized connection with a pretty sturdy click and pretty sturdy feel actually on one end, and the other end has both a pressure gauge as well as my favorite, a screw-on style connection to the tire valve, as opposed to that lever style. I much so prefer this style because it makes a better seal. Now it comes with some instructions, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and so we're gonna go ahead and put it to the test. Now before we do so, let us show you our current tire pump, and also let's test that one out as well. Thoughts?
Now, it is advertised as 26 feet long, so why don't we just make sure that it's advertised properly, huh, Greg? Thoughts? Maybe?
10 years later.
So this is the brand that we've been using. As you can see, it has been used quite a bit. It's partially broken. This is from Bonaire, and we've tested this in a previous episode. But if you notice, there's a tremendous or humongous size difference in between this one and the one that we currently have. And also, this is made out of composite material. It has that lever style tire valve connector, as well as a cigarette lighter for a connection. Now, Ollie, why don't we go ahead and put this thing to the test? We're gonna do both of these tests, so we're gonna do 4 total tests. The Bonaire on the larger tire, the 38, and we'll go ahead and deflate that to 10 psi, and we'll test it to 30 psi. We're gonna do the same thing afterward with this new tire compressor, and afterwards we're gonna test it on the 37 because I know a lot of people have 37. So why don't we get started?
Tires to 10 psi. We use this tire gauge. It's really good just to have it in the car with you at all times.
Toby, go ahead.
Let's get these tires down to 10 psi. This is always good to have in your car at all times, just to be able to check your tire pressure. Keep it in your car. Let's get started.
As you can see, we got this to 10 psi.
We are gonna do both these tests with the engine on, so run it, Greg.
Sounds good. We're gonna start off with the one we know. This one, if I remember correctly, does it in about 5 to 7 minutes, from 10 to 30. Now, whether you should run your tire at 30 or not, totally depends on your setup. And in fact, when I was deflating this tire, I was also thinking that we'll run this same test on all of the different tires that we test with the new unit. Only because the weight on the tire could affect the filling rate, and we just want to get an accurate comparison. So let me fire this thing up. Now, as you know, the first one uses a cigarette lighter, so I'm going to plug it in and get going. Arlene, why don't you get your stopwatch?
You're good.
On 3, 2, 1, go. How long has it been?
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
We're almost halfway there. What are we at?
7 minutes and 29 seconds.
And we're exactly at 30 psi.
7:29.
So 7 minutes and 29 seconds to go from 10 to 30 on a 38-inch tire with our current setup. Now, we usually fill this tire to about 24, and that takes about 5 minutes to do with this pump. So on the trail, it's about 25 minutes. We run it continuously. We don't have any issues with that. So why don't we go ahead and deflate this back down to 10 and check out that monster of a pump over there. This is the real deal. I am excited to see how it performs because it looks like it's gonna whoop some.
Somewhat.
I don't know.
Cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese. Let's go ahead and connect the hose, which is a really sturdy clamp, as you'd expect. Let's plug this end in and let's connect it to the battery and test it out. As you can see, about 10 psi.
Connected to the battery.
It's a pretty decently long setup here.
26 feet.
No,
If you're
this part
asking.
is the 8 feet.
Eps.
Just plug it right into the battery. I always connect the positive first. Count it down.
3, 2, 1, go. Well, someone looks happy.
Wow, I think we found our new tire pump. What do you think, Colleen?
What's the time?
Our official time is 4 minutes and 58 seconds to 31 PSI or 32 PSI, one or the other. It's kind of in the middle. You know, I couldn't stop it in time. So it's probably about like 4 minutes, 45 seconds versus 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Right, it was 7:30?
7:29, yeah.
7:29. So that's 3 minutes roughly. It's 3 minutes faster, which over the course of the 4 tires on a 38 is 12 minutes. But that's the 30. So roughly it'll hit the 25 in like 3 minutes. So it's actually only 12 minutes to fill up all 4 tires from 10 to 25. That's actually really impressive. What do you think?
I think it's great.
It's really cool.
For sure.
So why don't we check it out on the JK, on a 37, on the rear of the JK, and see what kind of numbers we could hit.
Let's do it.
So this one's at 10. I'm gonna plug in our original tire compressor and see what kind of time it takes to go up to 30 PSI all the way from 10. Why don't we get started?
The rear tire clocked in at 824 using the old pump. Something to consider is the fact that the back bears more weight than the front, which could be why it took a little bit longer. 824 is pretty long. I'm not about to wait that long if I was doing all the tires, huh?
And it's an inch smaller too. It's 37 versus 38.
Right.
Both of the tires are by 13.5, so you definitely would think that would cancel out, but it didn't. It took an additional 30 seconds to pump up the 37s in the rear of the Jeep JK. Now, why don't we go ahead and compare that to our heavy-duty new air compressor?
Let's do it. We're at 10 PSI. We're gonna plug in the new air compressor and see how fast it can pump up to 30 PSI on my rear tire.
What is your
37.
guess? It was 3 minutes faster on the TJ's front. Yours is 1 inch smaller. This one did like 8 minutes 10 seconds-ish. What do you think it's gonna be?
Maybe 4 minutes faster.
I'm gonna guess that it's gonna do it 4 minutes 40 seconds.
Okay, let's do it.
You know how I got that number?
With math calculations.
No, that's what it did with the other one. $31 again. 31. You know your pump is powerful when you're not able to stop it exactly at 30. That was exactly, what do you think?
4 minutes and 35.
That was 4 minutes and 49 seconds. That is nuts. 3 minutes and 20 seconds faster than the other pump, which is more or less the same time it took to do a 38, which makes sense because this is the hardtop. I figured they would balance each other out. So why don't we talk about our final thoughts? Lasso.
None of that, none of that. There you have it, the head-to-head, our old compressor versus the GoBej air compressor. And I have to say, hands down, our new GoBej air compressor is the one you guys should be getting. If you're looking for an air compressor that's affordable, fast, and effective, this is the one for you.
I am blown away by the time difference. We thought our other unit was fast, but this is like 35-40% faster than the other one, which is incredible. I also really like how it has that standard air outlet port so that you could expand this and make a tank. You can make all sorts of setups, like some people could even make a setup where you connect all 4 tires at once so that it fills all 4 of them at the same time. This is definitely a solution for onboard air. Our other one was a band-aid on the situation, and this GoBej unit is the real deal. We'll let you know how this thing stands up over the test of time. Now, I do have to mention one thing to you. It did get incredibly hot. Now, the handle of this thing basically looks like a machine gun barrel, and I figured they did that to dissipate the heat, and it definitely is necessary because it is insanely hot. It is way more hot than our other pump, but at the same time it is way more powerful. So you give and you take some. So just make sure after you use it you let it cool off before you put it in the bag, otherwise you might have a fire on your hands, or worse, you might get your wife upset, which is worse than a fire. Basically a fire, an earthquake, a tornado, and a hurricane.
That you can't put out with a fire extinguisher.
Absolutely not.
Only some Chick-fil-A
Nope.
and Baskin Robbins.
Are you
Well, thanks for watching this episode, you guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss any content. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Garage Couple and TikTok, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one. Adios.
Not a Chick-fil-A, huh?
Okay, let's go. Put out this fire.